Hey, welcome back. I just went to Iceland recently, and before I went, I read this. And I'm here to tell you, it's worthless. I've got a way better plan for you. Welcome back to the channel. Just been to Iceland. In winter, of all times, and yeah, thought it was a risk. It was a random booking, didn't really plan on going at all in advance, but hey, having done it, I'm here to tell you that I think I may have just had the perfect 5 days in Iceland, and I gotta share it with you. So day one, we flew into Reykjavik. Early morning, very early morning flight. That works out well. There's a great car hire company at the airport, Blue, and I've never done this before, but you pick up your car without having to see a human. And I don't know about you, but one of my pet peeves about car rentals is standing in lines that take forever and then dealing with all the sales nonsense to do with extra costs and insurance that they just try and push on you. Not in Iceland. Show up, put your code into a locker opens, take your key, go get in your car, go. Took us 10 minutes and we're out of there. So Reykjavik is the perfect place to start your trip because it's got good coffee and bakeries and cinnamon buns. So you can go to like 3 or 4 of the best coffee shops by foot within like 2 minutes, which is exactly what we did. Just hopped one to the other, drinking some of the best coffee I've had in quite a while actually. Okay, on leaving Reykjavik, you just very quickly end up on very chill, empty roads. And particularly in winter when I was just there, it is pretty quiet on the roads, which is lovely. So about, 45 minutes out of Reykjavik, you'll start to come across some of the main features. Selfoss, the big waterfalls. We stopped into 2 or 3. I wasn't sure what I was gonna see in winter, if they'd even be flowing. Oh my life. I've been to Iceland once before, for 2 days, believe it or not, in summer. Very different beast. I cannot tell you how much more I preferred this trip in winter. The waterfalls are still flowing, but now you have these insane, huge, massive icicles across all of the waterfalls. You've got snow on the ground. It's hard to explain. They're pretty cool. So we stayed in Hela on the first night. I'll put the link to the hotel beneath. It's fantastic. A lot of the good hotels will give you warnings if the Northern Lights are around. So they'll give you a room call at 3 a.m., wake you up, saves you having to stay up all night. As for the Northern Lights, I am cursed. I'm gonna tell you right now, didn't see them. Even though they were spectacular when we were there. Didn't see them, it's a curse. 11-year cycle, apparently this was a peak. Solar flare, 5 days before we went. Yep. Looking good. Clear sky the entire first day. And as it got dark, looking at the stars thinking, this is the night. This is the 5th attempt, international attempt, that I've made to see the Northern Lights. I was feeling very good about it. Then the cloud came over. Didn't see a thing. Didn't see a thing. Okay, day 2. In winter in Iceland, sun goes down about 6, so I'm talking February here, but the sun comes up at about 9-ish, which means you can get up, have your breakfast, which are fantastic in all these hotels by the way, fill yourself up, hit the road, and as you're driving you get to watch the sun come up over that wintry Icelandic landscape. It is sublime. The amount of trips that I've had to get up at ridiculous times to see a sunrise, not here. So day 2 when we got up, this happened for the first time, sort of eating breakfast, looked out the windows and you could just see the sun starting to rise and thought, right, let's get out. Hit the road and then just these crazy pink skies over the snow in the mountains. It was a good morning. We spent most of that day just kind of traversing through the landscape. I mean, we stopped a million times, but in the end managed to get to Vik. And the whole point of Vik is there is like a crazy glacial lagoon where the ice kind of breaks off, floats through the lagoon out to sea and gets washed back up onto the black sands beach. So you get this crazy contrast of blue white ice on black sand. It's absolutely spectacular. That night we stayed at a hotel that was very close by, about 10-15 minutes away. Again, link to that hotel is below for day 3. Superb hotel, can't say enough good things about it. Best thing about that hotel is it has hot tubs out the front, so you can sit in the hot tubs with a cocktail and just watch the sun go down over the ocean. Yeah, good times. The downside to that day was at the Glacier Lagoon, bumped into a few people, got chatting with them who had stayed there the night before. And did they have cloud? No, there was no cloud the night before, not a thing. Did they see the Northern Lights? Yes, yes they did. Was it spectacular? Did they show me their photos? Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. We were 2 hours away. Flew to Iceland. Missed it by 2 hours. Day 3, we got up, back to the lagoon to meet a tour guide who took us on a tour of an ice cave beneath the glacier. I mean, yeah, these kind of tours are amazing and you can't do them in summer. The ice is too melty, it's dangerous, they don't run them, so you have to do it in winter. It's one of those things that, the 2 big reasons for me to go to Iceland in winter are to see the ice caves and to try and see the Northern Lights. And it's fantastic. You take a tour, you go in a big 4x4, you head over the ice onto this glacier, you do a bit of a hike, and then you get to the ice cave, and until you're right next to it, you have no idea where you're going. And it's just a tiny little hole. Crawl into that hole, whole different world. Absolutely amazing. The ice doesn't look like ice, or feel like it actually. It feels like glass. It's weird. So fun fact, the reason it looks so clear is that there's less dissolved gases in the ice. When it's crushed under high pressure in a glacier, it's basically more pure, and it's beautiful. So having done the ice tour, we went back to the lagoon for sunset and discovered the most remarkable thing. Turns out, there's seals in that lagoon. This was really unexpected, and we spent 2 hours just wandering around watching these seals frolic. I mean, what a treat. Following day, we get up, drive back round the ring road, get hit by a snow blizzard, which came out of absolutely nowhere and was actually really fun to drive through. And there was a point where you couldn't see anything. It was white floor, you couldn't see where the sky hit the ground. Thankfully it didn't last too long, cleared up almost immediately. The roads are still fine even when that happens. This is the thing about Iceland, they're so good at keeping their roads clear, so you don't have to really worry. Carried on, about an hour away from Reykjavik, pulled into a tiny little farm area where there are the most cute, gorgeous, fantastic glass igloos that you can stay in to see the Northern Lights. Didn't see the Northern Lights, but it was still a magical experience, and nowhere near as expensive as you might think. It's actually a really cool place. You have your igloos, and there are a line of them, but they're separated by these lovely wooden barriers, so you have complete privacy, and you just look off into the landscape, and it's beautiful. There's a little outhouse about, I don't know, 20 yards away, where there's free coffee and drinks and showers and all that kind of stuff. So you have all your amenities. It's actually just a beautiful little experience. On the last day, we spent about an hour and cruised to the southwest corner to the Blue Lagoon. You can't go to Iceland and not do the Blue Lagoon. I have not done this before in winter, and wow. In summer, it's just beautiful. In winter, when you're in that lagoon with the crazy blue water enriched with all the silica and all that stuff, and those geothermal pools, all that steam coming off, but then you have the icy winds coming through. I mean, it feels like you're on a different planet. Enjoyed every second of it. We stayed in that lagoon for hours, came out feeling like a new human, and then we went back into Reykjavik and spent the evening just enjoying food and drinks, went out, had a bit of a night out, watched a live Icelandic band do cover songs of Queen. Yeah, real random, but just brilliant. Got a little Airbnb right in town. Again, great value, can't complain. Up the next morning, back to the airport, off we go. And that's it, smashed it. 5 days in Iceland, amazing highlights every day. I can't think of anything I would change. So if you go to Iceland, there's my top tips. Enjoy. See you in the next one.